Hi, I'm IKEA, and we're going to continue on this guided tour of Warlords of New York. And we're going to jump right back in where we left off at the end of the last episode by jumping into this character and continuing on from where we left off, which I believe was just before we were headed off to do Pathway and finish the Kajika manhunt. And that would only leave us with Dragov still to do before we can head towards Keener. Although we will need some levels, of course, because we will not likely be level 40 once we do all the mandatory reports, because we are doing it solo. I'm going to take a second here and just quickly equip gear, see what we have gotten. And one thing that I usually actually would have done by this point, but have not on this run, is go and get... I am actually going to equip that chest, even though it's a horrible talent. It is a talent. And the thing I'm going for is to have in sync on a weapon, and we should have more than enough credits to do such a thing. Just looking through everything. One thing I am keeping an eye out as well on is the level of the item. So as you can see in the upper right, for instance, this is so not looking at the stats at all, but at this armor value up here. Between level 31, it's 20k armor there. It's 25k for this level 33 item, if I can maybe find a higher item. But yeah, for instance, for this level 36 superior item, purple item, it's 47k. And those do matter. Those do actually matter quite a lot. So even this level 32 blue item has more than this level 33 green item. And those base armors do add up a little bit and make it so you can basically play very aggressively. I am actually just going to sell all junk here. I see that we get 14k for it, and that is more than enough for us to either buy a weapon and recalibrate it, or just recalibrate it. And yeah, and an in-sync weapon makes quite a big difference for us. And we're also at the start of level 36, almost. Yeah, so this will stay with us for a little bit. I'm just going to check what that G36 is. It's a level 35. I would need it to be a blue weapon. So I am actually going to recalibrate that, considering which one I want to recalibrate. But I think I will actually do the G36 and keep the Banshee as a fast dance. And yes, here's InSync. And yeah, InSync is basically plus 30. When you're firing and your skills are going at the same time, you're basically getting 30 skill damage and 30 weapon damage. And yeah, that is quite a lot, because if you look at basically what we get from a core here is like 2.7 from this core. All of our stats are very low, or well, this is like a good one that we have, and this is only 6.8%, and that means that a piece that is giving us outright 30, that is quite powerful. I'm going to just quickly put Kajika on the map there, and we're gonna head towards Pathway. Normally I would have done that as well at around like level 34-ish. I usually do it around level 34-ish and around level 37-ish. Seeing as I didn't do it around level 4-ish, yeah, did it there instead. Normally I would also make this walk from, well, if I have to walk, which normally isn't the case, I usually get boosted or I'm doing call for backups. But even when I'm waiting for a call for backup to come through, basically, I would walk from the safe house, which is a much better route than this, because there's a lot less enemies. Although we do have one extra phone there. And yeah, we're making good time. We were from the time played. So on the character screen, that time played, that's basically how long you've been in game with that character. It isn't RTA kind of thing that like some games do, where it's without loading screens or without cutscenes or so. It's with all those. But yeah, it does give a good indicator of how long you've played. I'm going to run over here and grab this phone as well. Because yeah, normally I would come from that side and grab that phone, and there's one a little bit further there. I'm curious what I've got aggroed by, and that is this Christmas hoarder again. And I will kill him because yeah, he will drop. He dropped level 36 Slayer, which I'm actually not going to take, but he also dropped this Paratrooper. I'm considering it, but I'm just going to take those two and leave the rest. I am actually going to equip that piece because I remembered that we had a Wyvern piece there. Yeah, we're going to head into Pathway now.
Ajika should be somewhere inside Pathway. Track him down and find any.
And Pathway is, as I've said with all of the missions and Warlords so far, I kind of like him. This one is likely my least liked one, but I still prefer it to some DC missions. And I'm just going to grab my turret back here. Yeah, as you can see, like the damage output has greatly increased. I'm killing a lot faster. My turret and drone are also killing a lot faster.
Network detected.
Isaac's picking up a signal.
Here we have to wait for the voice line to end. And a lot of these are actually like these. In story mode, you have to wait for the voice line. In heroic, that will be lit up from the second that we start. And here again is a part that is a little bit different here in story than in... Here, you could shoot Kajikat. It has no use. That doesn't carry through. The only thing that I will shoot is that one because it's annoying to evade that one. And for the rest, we just go around them. I will grab ammo.
For him now. You gotta keep moving.
And here as well. Normally, you would have enemies here already, but that isn't the case with this story mode. So we just push on in. I will actually put my turret up there. And again, just I know enemies will spawn up there. It's going to be basically behind their... It can shoot them while they take cover up there. They would sometimes take cover up there or there, and it can still shoot it in there. First one is going to be from that door again. The second spawns after these are quite randomized, so they can be either from the door in the left there or this door on the right here. And we shall see. So yeah, it's the door on the right. Yeah, my turret is basically in a spot where it can also shoot up there, which is nice. And once all of those waves are done, this heavy spawns. In the background, my turret is taking care of the left of me. I'm going to deconstruct my turret, actually. So again, here, I'm waiting for him to do that full animation, because if I headshot him before it doesn't count. And he's about to lose his helmet anyway, so there's no value to it. I am going to deconstruct my drone, even though it was about to time out anyway. Going to interact here. And this whole part is actually cut out of the heroic as well. You would normally just run through here and move on through. One thing I want to show here as well, you wouldn't also have these traps here, but one thing I kind of want to show as well is there's this hanging rope with the explosive there. You shoot it, and then you can go up here. And here is a cleaner box. And actually, I have 2 cleaner keys, and that is from some of the bosses, the side mission bosses that we've killed, and from some of the key boxes that I've opened, likely. Actually, I should actually show. So I roped it down there because I know there's a explosive or there's a shock trap underneath here that will shock me. But normally you can just jump down here. It put me right outside of it. But often, yeah, I was afraid of falling into it. But yeah, you can just jump down from there. You don't have to rope down. Roping down will take longer. And again, I play just super aggressively. Just go in here, shoot things. I'm going to push, this is also the position I would push into when I'm just on heroics, Eclipse or Red or Third Drone Hybrid, doesn't really matter. I always push up here because yeah, I have height advantage. I can shoot everything. All of the positions that enemies spawn, I can shoot at. And that's always the positions that I like. This guy made it all the way up. I'm actually noticing now that I have shock rounds, of course, on my pistol from my chest talent, which I'm trying to think of the name. I will actually, after this pulse, we have to wait for voice lines anyway. So after this one, it's reassigned or something, right? Yeah. Oh, actually, I got it. Actually, yeah. So yeah, reassigned, which is a talent that again I almost never see. So it's funny to see it again. And yeah, the one thing I will point out is that a lot of people think you get one round of something and that it just keeps overwriting it. But what happens actually is, so if you get shock rounds for the first one, then it starts building up shock rounds. So there is actually a little bit of use to it, especially if it. Like if you're using it for Eclipse or something to get shock rounds, for instance. But the utility of the Eclipse chest, or just having, and if you don't want that, to go glass there instead or something, or even I would pick tag team over this. I would pick kinetic momentum over it and try to toggle it in some way, or Overwatch, or any of the other ones. It's just one of those yeah, weird ones. But yeah, so it gets, every time it gets a new round, it rotates what special it is, but it will just keep building up numbers. So it'll, next time I get a kill that triggers it, it will go to 15, but it will be a different status effect. But once you start using them, it will stay that one. So once you have the thing equipped, here as well, the cutscene happens a little bit differently. So Kajika comes out, you have to shoot him, otherwise he has like a 20-25 second animation that plays there of him basically taunting you, and you then have to sit through it. So yeah, you just shoot him once and he runs away. Saves you a little bit of time. There we went for that case. And if we jump over here, over this, there is this interact here with this dead JTF soldier. When you interact with him, it drops, I don't actually remember the key name, Kajika's key, actually. So yeah, so Kajika's key was with him. We get that one, and that opens the door at the very, very, very end of this mission. So yeah, we've grabbed it for that point. And now we're heading into the first boss fight with Kajika. We're going to fight him twice. And in here, it's a big arena. I always go to this right side. I either go to this right side or I go to that middle segment there, depending on if two people are already here, I won't be the third one joining them here, just to have multiple angles ready. But this is my preferred side. I'm going to put my drone on him, and I'm going to start just working on the ads a little bit, and maybe put some shots in him as well. And yeah, having it in sync weapon just easily makes this a lot faster. I deal a lot more damage, and it's very noticeable, especially for me playing. So once he starts to run here, or actually he's already in run mode, except that. So I'm actually just gonna grab my turret. So one of the things that happens is while he's getting shot, he will sometimes basically get hit out of his animation of running away. And that can be very annoying, especially if you're in League and you're getting timed, basically. But even there as well, I deconstructed my drone, I pulled away my turret, just to have less things shooting at him, to try to get him to just run away. Because he will actually run away when he has like 20% armor left, something like that. But there he was actually completely out of armor, out of health. And at that point, he still keeps taking damage, but it does nothing. It also doesn't carry over to the last fight, so there's no value to going overboard there.
Careful, Agent. The cleanest of boring tunnels down here.
One thing I will quickly show here is that, well, first off, we will have a little Kajika moment there without even a decoy or anything, which, yeah, is weird that he can do that. But we will come here, you see a yellow junction box inside that car, which is just from there to there. When we shoot it, this door and that door over there, well, all three doors open, but these two are accessible. So we go in here and there's a weapon crate. And this is, yeah, also worth getting. Upstairs, there's some resources as well. So there's two paths to go. A lot of people go upstairs. I prefer to go grab that chest and grab these downstairs ones. And we're just making our way through pathway. The enemies that spawn here will all disappear when I do that. Then the second wave is a bit more in the back. This always has a elite sniper, so that elite sniper can actually be a little bit annoying. And that's always the case. Snipers are usually the annoying enemies. They can actually deal some damage, some good damage, and that can hurt you quite easily. I have an enemy on top here. That was still likely that RC car that I already killed. I will grab these shock rounds. I will put them in my other weapon, and I will use them with Kajika. There I will set data flame that will get them off the minigun. And let's just move up forward.
Find a way to destroy that drill.
We should have out of combat here for a second, I believe. Nope. So out of combat will always heal you, if you hadn't noticed that ever. One of the best, we always say it, the best healer in this game is actually going out of combat.
We need to get this drill out.
Because every time you go out of combat and no regen isn't active, so yeah, there's of course a directive that can mess with that, that is made to be messing with that, and that's no regen. But whenever no regen isn't active, every time you go out of combat, you will heal to full armor.
Okay, Agent. Isaac's picking up a crane, a fuck ton of oil.
But also no regen itself can be easily bypassed if you
Can access the control.
don't know the trick to it yet. Whenever you swap weapon outside of combat, so whenever you're out of combat and you were
You're gonna need to deal
without no regen, you would be regenning or healing up all the way to full. Instead of that, you can just swap weapons once, and it is just that easy. Just swap weapon from your main weapon to your secondary weapon, or either way around, or just to your sidearm, and then that's all that's needed. It's so easy that yeah, it's not even a I wouldn't even consider it an exploit. It's too easy to do. I do see that grenade coming in. It is actually somewhat on target. Ah,
You'll need to access
I didn't mean to, but actually I will show here, and it's maybe good that we do. So I didn't kill that engineer fast enough. What they did was interact with this console here, and that means that we have to run over here and restart the path. What is happening here is that actually you see those boxes with that green health bar above them. What is happening is that we're basically making sure that they reach the end of their line there, and at that point they will destroy the drill. But one thing that doesn't often happen, there's a heavy coming up for me. I will again hopefully get his backside. Yeah, I'm making this fight a little bit messy. So there another engineer is coming up, and he will try to interact with the box there. So one of the things that sometimes happens is, because in heroic usually someone will kill those 9 out of 10 times. They will be dead before they reach the place that they interact with and stop our progress basically. But I've seen actually people go not understand what is happening and think that it's bugged. I've seen actually videos of people going having that happen to them and completely not understanding what the mechanic there was. So I wasn't intending to show it, but there I just didn't kill the elite engineer fast enough.
Agent, make sure that drill is out of commission.
And yeah, once the box it reaches all the way there and we've killed all the enemies, we can interact here. And yeah, those explosives go directly into the drill and the drill.
I'm taking out that drill. The last thing we need is a bunch of
Here's again one of those places where a voice line is a lot longer than it is in heroic. In heroic, from the second that explodes, you can actually go through this door. But here you have to wait for this entire voice line to play. Yeah, it's a little bit annoying. And it's good, but it is good that they take those out for heroic. It would be actually more annoying if they were also in heroic as well still. Well, not even just heroic, any difficulty above story, so normal or above. Although there are oddities, like with this mission where hard still does have the part where we get into the greenhouse part, basically. That part still has the story version, but that's, yeah, there are some oddities like that.
He's gonna come for us.
I will actually grab ammo because I'm not, while not low, I am a bit low. Here again there's going to be enemies on those walkways above there, but I will just use a grenade launcher. And all of these traps can easily be evaded. And yeah, there were just 2 enemies up there. 1 grenade launcher just made that fight super easy.
Just keep on going.
Guess the cleaners have more control over the city.
Well, it made it not a fight even. They just instantly got killed by it.
Serious dent in their operation.
I hope you're right.
The only thing we need to worry about.
Now, this is the last room before we head into the boss fight room. I'm gonna put my drone somewhere close. And I'm just gonna rush past everything and kill everything in the back. I am still, every time I see it pop up, I'm weirded out by that reassigned prompt from my chest. Every time it takes me a second to go, wait, what was that? And then, yeah, it is reassigned. But yeah, it is a purple chest, and it was from a damage brand, even if it is Walker and Harris. I'll take 5 weapon damage, if that's the only option. I would much rather have 10 from Fenris, of course, but you get what you get in this way. So this Kajika fight is a little bit interesting. He has his mechanics of his shock traps, of course. He throws out extra ones out. Later on, he will also try to engage us with his bow, not a crossbow, a normal bow with explosive rounds. And here again, I'm trying to get some procs going of, I did as well with, Wicked, just by going after weak points and such. Cleaners have a lot of weak points that you can use to set them on fire. Not as much as Outcast or something, but yeah, still enough to deal with them a little bit. So my turret isn't firing, actually. I'm changing that. I'm giving it a hard target. And yeah, just working our way through here. I'm gonna pick up my turret again so that it's off cooldown for the next part. I don't really need him for this Kajika part. And yeah, here I'm just going to actually use these shock rounds. He's actually out of effective range of that Banshee, so I'm gonna swap off. And once he plays his full voice line here, yeah, that voice line, I will actually deconstruct my drone as well. We'll try to find a path through here.
Get away from that steam and finish.
And not get shocked.
Water valve detected.
Here I will wait. I will notice that my turret is already off cooldown, so in a second I will actually move up the left and toss it in the middle. I know a few enemies spawn there, so I will actually kill 3 of them there already. Run down, put my drone, put it on whoever I can. And I'm going to move up here and I'm going to put my turret up there where it can kind of shoot at everything. I'm going to swap to my AR with InSync. And put my drone on Kajika. I do actually prefer to kill everything else but Kajika first, but I think I've already done that. Because if you leave one enemy here in the upcoming boss fight, I'm going to get shocked there, but that's okay.
Visuals compromised.
In the upcoming boss fight, he would otherwise... There might still be an enemy behind you, and sometimes it's something like a sniper, and that can actually be quite annoying. They will pick at you from behind, basically. So my preference, not that matters here, but especially in Heroic, my preference is really to make sure that you're only fighting in front of you. Here I'm going to push up on the left side. I'm going to run through here. These traps I don't care about at all. I will put flame rounds on them just so to CC them for a few seconds. I'm going to jump up here. I still have flame rounds left. I will put them on Kajika. My turret's off cooldown, and my turret's going up there. And that is going to make it so that, yeah, Kajika will usually, especially for this part of the fight, stay up there. He basically has nowhere to run to. So he was stuck up there. And here as well, I know I have more than enough damage that when I'm up here, I can quickly kill him.
Deceased.
And then these two enemies remain. We're going to kill them. So the door is actually interactable before the phone. So this phone isn't interactable. Well, the phone, so this skill here is basically representing Kajika's phone. But yeah, it isn't pick upable till Kelso played that voice line.
Shit. I must have been holed up in
And yeah, we have our third skill. And yeah, every time we've killed one of these enemies, we have gained a skill.
only in your head.
And here we got the shock trap. The mission isn't over though still till we interact here and a few voice lines play. And that's also the reason why I'm going to wait with opening this box, because the box, from the moment that I open it is when it scales, basically. So I'm going to wait till the end of the mission, so it may give me a level 37
Collect the intel.
item instead of a level 36 weapon. But yeah, a good level 37 weapon exactly when we do get 37. We're going to be just a little bit short, as you can see in the upper right. So yeah, it didn't matter. Skipping a cutscene. Kajika is now done. This is unskippable, sadly for us. But yeah, you can see that he is completely done. We've done all of it. And yeah, so also skill-wise as well, yeah, we've gotten a decoy. We have gained the sticky bomb. We've gained the shock trap.
Already dead.
We do get a sick. That's level 36, but I'm actually not going to in sync that up basically because we're going to be level 37 in a few seconds anyway. I'm going to fast travel to Haven. From Haven, we're going to go to... First, I'm going to unlock these two side missions by talking to Kelso. One thing that also happens when you make newer characters, so you can see there are some keys lying in front of that crate there. Those are the off-white keys, which are the keys you get from killing the hunters. The hunters are all account-wide, so I've killed them already on this account with my main character. So all subsequent characters will just get the keys in front of the box. If I walk over it, you can see that I've gotten 8 off-white keys, and I could actually open this crate and get a hunter-killer at this level, but I'm going to save it for level 40, which is what I usually do. I usually don't keep them. I have a hunter-killer that is all red. That's all I wanted anyway. I am going to, while we're here, just quickly make use of the shop. I also quickly want to see if that FAMAS is purple now. It isn't. If it was, I would have bought it. I'm actually going to check how much credits we have. We would have more than enough credits to waste on that. And again, none of this is really required. This is just me. I like having...
There's always one.
Using the credits and using the equipment that I get and trying to... Not truly min-max, because if I wanted to truly min-max, then I would downgrade one of my Reguluses to level 30 to have it on this character. You can downgrade exotics just by reconfiguring it. So if you're on a level 30 character and you reconfigure it at that point, I'm actually going the wrong way. Because I do not want to go through the Federal Reserve there. The Isaac line would pull me all the way through the Federal Reserve side mission. And I do not want to do that right now. I'm going to do all of the required parts and see how far we get that way. Because I don't exactly remember from memory. As I've said before, it's been years since I've done a full solo run. As yeah, it isn't recommended. You should do call for backups or you should team up with people. But if you really want to do it all the way solo, then yeah, this is the way to do it. And here this is going to be the start of I'm just going to let those escape. They don't give any, they are not an activity, so they do not give activity XP. So you would just get the kill XPs, and that's not worth it to me. One oddity with this line is that it's, first off, it's 3 things. There's a phone here that I'm just going to grab quickly. It's 3 parts of this manhunt. It doesn't have a prerequisite for this safe house. So the first side mission here is to head for the safe house, which isn't the case for all of the others. All of the others have something like that little side mission that leads into it. One thing that we can do here as well is you have this community leader. Normally you would have to wait for him to finish his whole talk before you can interact with this laptop. What you can do is run out, and that lets you interact with the laptop right away. He does speak for a good 20 seconds, so I am going to do that trick. And you can do that with the other safe house as well that requires it, which is the Parnell one in this safe house. I actually did do it, but I didn't actually explain what I was doing. So I did hit level 37 there. I get my field proficiency cache, which contains high-end from this point on, from 37. And I am going to open it. I did get... I'm not going to equip that. Neither am I going to equip that. I was considering maybe putting on that rifle, but I would dislike myself a lot. My aim, especially when speaking, is actually pretty bad. So what that did also get us, and I am going to do that, that's going to be the large part of this video, is because I need the XP, because I'm soloing. So this wouldn't be required if you were boosting, or you were getting carried, or doing the shepherding way, is that I will need some XP, and a good place to get some extra XP is the project that is available here. And that project, I've tracked it now, so it's on the right side of the screen. You see what is required, and that is to resupply a control point, it is to complete 3 activities, and it is to recover 3 SHD caches. I'm going up here to recover exactly that. So I know for this one, I've shot this rope to have it fall down. I'm climbed up here. I know there's the junction box up there opens this door. That one is actually really easy to miss because it's not very clear exactly where it is. Same for the next junction box that we have to shoot for a door. And this one is always hard to find, basically. So this one still has this line. It's always these yellow power lines that lead you to it. But here, there's that junction box up there. That one is a bit harder to follow because you have to follow this junction box, and it's not very clear. Like, it goes up there, and then it's not clear where it's exactly going. So some people have some issues finding that one. But yeah, here I'm going after these SHD caches, and I'm finishing this project because I'm doing it solo, and I need to be level 40 for that Liberty. So yeah, if you're boosting, if you're getting, if you've even done parts of this with group scaling, either by Shepherd or boosting. Oh, I had that was a high-end Mark 16. I will equip that in a second. Then all of this would be not required. You would only need to do all of the truly required parts, which is just the manhunts and Camp Clinton, and you would be level 40 easily by the end of it. I'm just going to take a second and see if I already had Seska piece. I'm actually going to equip this one just to open myself up to have something else here, which I am actually going to equip that one there. I did see a high-end Mark 16. So have a look at just the damage difference between these two. So yeah, if you were to calculate out this DPS, this would be quite a big difference. I am actually going to equip it over my other AR, and I'm considering in the background because the best course of action here is actually to fast travel to the White House, or to the White House, to the safe house here to continue to this one. But I'm actually going to go to Haven real quick and put InSync on this SOCOM, and this will likely be the weapon that I keep till either the end or level 38-ish. Because yeah, InSync does add a lot, so I would need to find a different weapon that has InSync for it to compete. And the next SHD cache is basically the same distance from Haven as it is from where we were. So fast traveling here isn't a detriment. And yeah, you see why I needed those credits, and that is because each recalibration still does take 5k-ish for each recalibration. And buying a weapon would be another 5k. So I'm going to mark this one just so I basically have an Isaac line to follow and can just see it on the overworld. And yeah, we're just going to go grab those. So you see already in the upper right with the tracking, there is one already recovered. For the activities, the control points will count. For one of these, we will basically need to assault, for one of the SHD caches, we would basically need to assault one of the control points anyway. So that will be that one. It's the one in the middle. It is required for getting... If I were to shoot, basically, I need to open a lock by shooting it. And doing so will... Isaac is a little bit drunk there. I don't believe there is actually a path through here from this side. You can, I think you can jump down there, but you cannot jump up. So yeah, I will actually have to run through these guys and kill them. And yeah, around level 37 is when high ends start to drop a lot more. So, and yeah, you can see that happening. I am quickly going to check on the map because we need to be on the back side of this building. So usually I do not approach it from this side. So I'm looking at how normally you would get to that point. But yeah, going through here is, I think, the fastest. We take a left here. We have this random assault on us. So one thing that is noticeable, so I'm not popping my turrets or my drones there because also they would likely go after the enemies over there and aggro everything. Oh, actually, I passed the point of that alleyway. So normally, yeah, I would come from the safe house. I would come down here and go up the street. And I actually was in the street and I did not recognize where I was exactly. But yeah, we would go up here.
Hostile broadcast detected.
Although also I haven't done this in quite a while because the last time I did this was for a character that I was going to keep. Because normally, yeah, all of this is not required for a watch halt. You wouldn't do these projects at all. You would have enough XP to reach whatever you were going to reach. I'm still going to keep looting, even though that I really don't need to actually, but I mean, come on, I can't leave loot behind. I couldn't live with myself then. And it's not slowing us down too much. I'm actually quickly going to mod this pistol to especially have the underbarrel flashlight for in a little bit, just so I can more easily show the next one. Where we are headed off to now is this sewer entrance.
Hostile broadcast picked up.
As that will lead us down to where the next SHD cache is. So it's likely, yes, we take a left here and we go down that sewer. And if enemies like that aren't aggroed by me, I won't shoot them. While I do need XP, kill XP and such isn't actually really worth much. So from killing these enemies, I get... actually, let me see. What do I get from them? It's like less than a K for that whole fight with... without any bonus XP modifiers or something. And yeah, that isn't much when you compare that to the 40-50k that an activity. So for instance, this control point, while it is of course an attack and a defense, will give me 94k. Side activity or the propaganda broadcast like this one will give me 43k. And the reason that these side missions might be valuable to do is, as you can see, they give me 250k. Same for this project. This project gives me 125k, and of course all the parts leading up to it also give a lot. So here, I'm running up to here because I already know later on that is the path that I need to go, because the shade crate is actually, you can actually see it, it's on top of that green box over there. So I'm going to go over here, shoot that open already, and then go actually over there and open it. Yeah, all of these shade ones are a little bit a tiny puzzle. They're not difficult or anything, but they're just a little puzzle for you to figure out. And they can be quite challenging on the first run throughs, just figuring out what opens what can sometimes take a little bit. It's not always very clear and it's easy to miss. Yeah, here we are grabbing this one, which is our third one. So we have 2 more in this zone.
Hostile.
And the next one is going to be by that control point. So I'm actually going to assault that control point and use that as my position, as my captured control point to resupply. I'm just going to quickly check. I think this side is still.
Hostiles. Guarding location.
That side is still faster. It's closer. We could go through the whole sewer, but it's parallel to the line that we need to go. But this side is closer, or was closer to us. Both points would be just as far away from the control point. I'm just going to have a look over there. No, sometimes that can also be a named group. Then we're going to head over here and assault this control point. There is something over there. I'm just going to grenade launcher them. Yeah, every enemy there, all the reds gave me 200 XP per. Yeah, that's insignificant compared to the activities and what they give. So this is usually my assault point for when I do it with turrets and drones. You can shoot into them. You're pretty high up. You have good cover, and you have multiple parts of cover, so you can move around a little bit. That's also always important for where you take cover. I am actually going to jump down here and already initiate the assault.
En route.
Just so my allies get up here a little bit quicker. But yeah, that can take some time if you do it towards the end. Especially with this, it's going to be 1 or 2 waves. These are basically CP1s, if you were to see them in what difficulty they are. They're basically actually CP0s, they're in story mode. So we do have a heavy as the boss here. I'm just going to hit that enemy just mostly to proc and sync for my drone. My drone is going to finish that enemy off quite easily. One thing I want to do before I jump down, that's why I'm actually hesitant to jump down, is... So the shade cache is up there, that lit door above that, so where I'm pointing basically. And to reach that, we need to actually shoot down a lock there. You see my pointer go red for a second. I'm actually going to take shots here, and I think I already hit it because I saw sparks. I'm just going to make sure that I actually did. I don't think I did because I saw red again. Yeah, there we go. Those are, so you saw the sparks of a lock breaking, which is a little bit more pronounced than just the other ones that I thought for a second that were there. And that's always an annoying hard shot. You can of course just sniper it. You can't grenade it or anything, so those padlocks are not susceptible to grenading. But they can be shot. And also, I'm running on pretty low graphics. That also makes it a little bit harder. So it would actually render a little bit decently further than what I have there. And also during the day, you can actually see that it's yellow. Here in the dark, it's hard to tell that there was something even there. And yeah, that door needs to be open just so we have access to that SHD cache. I'm gonna put my turret here. That turns out to be a very bad spot because it was basically in the ground. So I'm gonna kill these guys. They should have Elite with them in the back, who's acting as the control point leader, and it's assaulter, so or rusher. So yeah, we are done. So yeah, we have captured this control point. What I'm going to do is actually go for that SHD cache first, because I'm here anyway already.
Supply room access.
There is also a key crate here. I actually have a Riker's key, so I will actually grab this. It is a Fast-End MP5A. I will make that my secondary, and I will actually make that my secondary by actually putting it there. I will quickly give it its mags and its crit chance and such to make it easy on myself. And yeah, this is that door that we just shot. So this is from there we shot this door open basically. Up here is a phone and a SHD cache. And this is always one of the more freaky ones as you open it and... hello, boys. Everything okay? Yeah? I'm not gonna get murdered the second I turn my back? No? Yeah? Sure. Just in case, I'll just... Have a good day. Oh, yeah, I grabbed that one first as well because I know I can jump down from here and grab some of my loot back here. I'll go grab the boss loot as well up here.
Hostiles.
That heavy dropped. It's a rifle, not worthwhile. We have good guns anyway. One thing I'm going to make a mental note of is to grab ammo before we leave here. And I will grab this. This character is getting deleted basically after it gets to its watch points. Well, it doesn't get deleted, but right away I'm going to just spend its watch points over some while. I usually don't just spend them all right away. I have a lot of the things that I would want. I already have. Before we head out, I'm going to resupply this control point officer, and I'm just going to grab a minigun instead. I'm gonna go for that buff as well, just to have it. That was a bit more resources than it needed, but I would just want that buff. Not that I'm going to do anything with the buff really, but... So here's our last SHD cache, and that's also the reason I picked this. Also in the past, when I did used to do it solo, this is the path that I would take, and that's why I remembered doing it this way and wanted to show it this way. And that's because all of these ones for this financial district one are basically in a line of us heading. For two of them, we have to go out of our way a little bit backwards, as you saw. But for the rest of them, we basically are just moving towards Wall Street and just getting them along the way. I'm going to get this phone. Then we have, for this SHD cache, I'm going to shoot down that rope. And that rope is accessible from the top of this this lorry. Gonna go up hopefully before I get spotted by that quarreling gang there. Here we have to go once we get up here. The door we need to open is basically just right across from us there. It's that well-lit door there. But to actually open that door, we need to go across all of this. Jump down here, jump up here. And down there you see a yellow junction box with a yellow power cable leading to there. So yeah, we're going to shoot it and make our way back to that door. We did get aggroed by stuff down there, but that is okay because we're going to go so far high up that we will not. So we're going to go all the way to this roof there. And that means that, yeah, we're going to be out of their range most likely. Here's the elevator that quite often I have just, well, in the past I remember just run in here and go like, oh yeah, I'm just waiting for the elevator to go up. And then, oh no, yeah, it's a rope. So we're going to rope our ways up here. One thing I do remember always from up here is that it was quite common for enemies to be inside of this room, which we don't have now. Quite often you would have a few underground enemies up here. But not the case this time. But yeah, we will actually grab all of the loot as well. Maybe we get some gear we use. Maybe we get a gun we use. What we didn't. Grab these resources. So the only thing required for the completion of that project now is just complete one activity. And we are close enough to Wall Street now as well, so we're going to go to Wall Street. Wall Street won't count as an activity. Activities are actually activities. But depending on what... so we're going to be level... I'm jumping down the wrong thing there. I distracted myself. We're going to go down the rope. So with Wall Street complete, we will likely be... It's always annoying when you're close to rope and you want to jump down. It prioritizes the rope. We're 37. We're going to be 38 here. So I'm actually going to go get this control point as well. And the reason I'm going for that control point is that is a really easy fast travel point for later for doing Liberty Island. I need an activity anyway as well. It will count for that. It is a control points are actually two activities. The assault is an activity, and then the defense is also an activity. These guys might also even count for an activity because they might be a team going for resources. They were not. They were just a normal patrol. But yeah, I will capture this and then I will head into Wall Street. And likely by the end of Wall Street will also be the cutoff point for this video. This group I will just grenade like that, just make it easy on myself. I will call in my allies and I will just rush into here. My drone is already grabbing some of the aggro, letting me quite easily get into position. I'm just gonna run past everyone. I'm going for their spawn points mostly, so I know they spawn up here. They will always spawn inside of this room, basically. There's a ton of spawn points, though. So it's all around you once you're in here, which on Heroic can be... it can be harder to just keep track of where everyone is, and they might just back spawn you and really kill you quickly. But here, of course, again, we're on story mode. There's also a phone back here that I will also grab. And just, you know, get a little bit of XP that way. My drone destroying that RC car actually set me on fire. If it hadn't done anything, yeah, its owner was already dead, so it was about to despawn. So we did the assault already, so that counted for that activity. So Paul Rhodes is thanking us for, you know, completing one of those projects. We're just gonna wait for these enemies to move in a little bit. Here, the enemies can spawn on the right far side way into nowhere town, basically. What that project also did was give us a bounty. So that was one of the rewards for it. I'm actually just going to rush in, and I saw it was a heavy. I want to close the distance and kill everything around him, and then I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to put my drone on the other one and just wait for it again. Once the helmet is all the way off, it's an easy kill. Even on Heroic, you should do it that way. Just pop off the backpack, wait for them to take off their mask, and then just quickly finish them. This enemy made a very long walk. They went all the way over there. But yeah, here we have this captured now, so we have this as a fast travel point, and that's quite handy as Liberty is basically exactly where I put my marker there. So we can just fast travel from here, or fast travel to here and walk from here. And we're close to level 38. I'm actually going to check how much that bounty gives as XP. So it's 94-ish K. That might be a good idea. I might do that bounty and Wall Street, and that might be this video. I'm going to quickly grab all of this loot and all of these resources. And the bounty is actually quite close to our other CP. Well, it depends. It's an open world bounty. It can actually have spawn points or where the actual point of it is that as you can see, it's quite a large area. Actually, I might just to show you as well. So there I aborted the bounty, and I'm just going to so I'm going to go in here. I'm going to abort this bounty. You can also do it with the button press, and I'm going to restart it. This can move it around. So now it might be actually in a different location, and but it isn't there because it doesn't have many places to go. There is one other position it could go, which is actually on our way to Wall Street, but I'm not going to keep reattempting it. But you could do that, as you can also do that for other bounties. If you don't really like the position it's in, then yeah, it's it can actually be easier to force it to be somewhere else.
Even though they might not have the training and tech, they've proven.
Also, some places can easily bug for people, and when it does, what you can do is go into that position. So if you have a position that has bugged already a few times for a bounty, what you can do is be basically inside of this boundaries and start the bounty from in there. And that will cause it to be somewhere else because it will not spawn the bounty once you are inside of these boundaries. And when I say boundaries, is if you look on the minimap on the right side where it is basically dark orange, that is the boundaries of that bounty. I am going to actually kill these guys because otherwise I will be kept in combat for forever. Shoot him as well, even though I'm way outside of optimal. We have the same issue on the other side as well. I am just going to kill them just to have the ability to go out of combat between waves. Gonna climb up here. So this bounty will be basically a normal bounty. So that means that we have this wave and then the next wave, and then that is done. Oh well, one spot and then one more spot and then it's done. I'm just quickly gonna check where it put it. Oh, it is over there. I'm actually gonna grab all of the food here as well. There's one here as well, right? Yeah. Not a position I farm often, so having issues remembering where it was exactly. I do know there's flame rounds here. I will actually grab those in my secondary. Not that I will likely put them to use because I have already noticed that I keep forgetting about them, especially when I'm speaking. So one thing actually that this will lead us to is going into this pier up here. And that is actually good because, yeah, there is components back there. And there's also a key chest up there. And I think I remember us having one more cleaner key. So I am going to spend that there. And we are reaching a level. So you can actually press, I don't know if it's the normal binding for it, but you can press F to bring up basically your HUD. And in this case as well, I'm using it to see in the upper right what my bar of XP is like. And there you saw me go for a quick toss of a turret onto the ground. As I've said, yeah, it's not the best idea to put it on the ground. But yeah, there just for quickness. So yeah, there we got a ton of components. And we did have one more cleaner key. I am going to use that. And I will just quickly check if that is an improvement. It is. So I'm going for Overlord to I'm not using rifle, so that Overlord piece is only for its core. It was there. But there I swapped it to a Walker and Harris, and that's 5 more weapon damage. And even though 5 more weapon damage isn't a lot, it's better than 10 rifle damage that isn't active. Also, I was wrong apparently. I expected it to be only basically 2 rooms, 2 locations. But it is a 3rd as well. I'm actually quickly going to check. This is just normal bounty, right? Yeah, difficulty normal. Yeah, and it does show. It did show there that it was difficulty normal.
I could do without the excitement.
And you were just gonna kill this named enemy. This will likely put us at 38, and that's also nice because then at level 38 we will go into Wall Street, meaning that all of the enemies and such in there will be dropping level 38 gear as well. Two elite enemies there. That's actually... Yeah, we are reaching around that point where more elite enemies start to spawn. And I'm hopeful that this is the last location. Once I kill this enemy, that it will just spawn here, except that it isn't. That is surprising. I'm used to most normal bounties being a lot shorter than this one. Maybe this one is also special as it... in the base game, you have liberation bounties, which are bounties that basically liberate a zone. I don't believe that is the case of requirements of I don't believe these are set bounties with set enemies, but they aren't liberation bounties as those were, because they would actually mark a zone as liberated. But yeah, we're basically walked all the way back to the safe house. And yeah, that's... But we have some control points that are nearby to Wall Street. Well, closer to Wall Street, so we can just use them. And a fifth as well. So, okay, these are different. These are a little bit different. And yeah, this is also a location, so you can actually hit that button over there to drain this water here, and that will give you access to like 5 crates. Just now for speed, I will actually not do that. Gonna kill everything along the way. I do actually remember that this enemy usually does spawn here, which is a heavy for this bounty. Because yeah, in the past I did used to, before I knew the how group scaling worked, I did used to actually run it solo quite often. But then yeah, once I understood how group scaling worked, it doesn't make sense really to do it solo unless you really want to, unless you really don't want to be dependent on other people's time or such. You don't want to be able to just walk away for 10 minutes every 15 minutes or something. So there we did just not reach level 38, but that is okay. I do want to go into Wall Street as level 38 just to more easily get gear, level 38 gear out of there. Just so that the bosses and such will also drop level 38 gear. So what I am going to do is actually do that activity along the way. And this activity is also... so this is going to be a public execution. This is also the... Quite often you will have noticed when you're going into Wall Street, in the second room where you first get assaulted by the mortars, basically, there's going to be a group of enemies across, so outside of the mission area, that aggroes you and keeps you aggroed basically, and makes it so that you basically are then in no regen mode. And that's these guys. They're just on the other side of... that third drop probably went to the ground. Yes, it did. But yeah, it's these guys, and they will keep you in aggro. I was expecting my drone to actually have dealt with you by then, but that was elite. The second wave spawns right back there, so this is also easy cleanup. Even though my shooting is quite bad. Ah, that's where it went. It went inside. I did not know that those were like that. I was expecting it to be a box or something, and that it could land on top of it. The hostage that I've rescued is the one over here that I can talk to. I'll actually grab that cleanup bounty, even though I will never, ever, ever do it. I was just trying to cancel it. And, I am looking at the timer, and it's a little bit over an hour already. But I think I will actually do drag off here, because yeah, that will leave basically an hour part left at the end for the next part. This area is actually a little bit odd. I've always found this one odd. I really expect there to be a secret or something here, but it isn't. It isn't used for the hunters as such either as well. But yeah, this is just us going through 2 buildings, and yeah, this is just a somewhat of a courtyard alleyway kind of thing between 2 buildings here. We just paths through here. And yeah, it just seems like a place where you would put a secret. But there are quite a lot of those that aren't used in that way. There are quite a few other places where I'm like, oh, this feels like I would put a secret here. But yeah, maybe they ran out of things to put there. And yeah, we're just gonna do Wall Street here, and
You're coming up on Dragov's outer perimeter.
that will leave one side mission, leveling to 40, and Liberty Island for the final video, which will also be around an hour as well. But yeah, this was a busy video on itself anyway, because yeah, we made some good progress. We did the whole project. We leveled quite a lot. We did the whole bounty, which took way longer than I was hoping for. But here there's a trigger point once you cross this barrier. There's actually a phone back there, but I'm not going to go for it because that one is just a little bit out of the way. Yeah, that trigger point is there where you go through where the mortar starts. So you can actually have if you kill all of the ads without going through, you can have a nice out of combat, have it nice and easy. I will actually grab these resources on this side as well, these components. Here's again one of those places where I know that my drone will not follow me. So over this fence, it for some reason cannot follow you over this fence. There's a phone here. But yeah, that's why I deconstructed it and make sure that I just put it on cooldown and then start again. I also noticed that I'm full on grenade launcher, so I'm gonna do that and do that, even though it missed. Yeah, I'm just gonna push up here. And again, I'm gonna take the high ground a little bit. I'm gonna take this position. I do know they spawn behind me, but it's usually just a few guys. On heroic as well, I usually go up here. There is that spawn behind me, as you saw coming from that door. But it's usually 1 or 2 guys, and yeah, you just deal with it. But yeah, it's a nice high position. Here we have another phone, a resource, and behind me is a crate. So this is Wall Street is actually a really good mission for getting some loot out of it. There is quite a lot of crates, and especially at the very end of it, there is, let me make in my head count, there is 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 4 plus a key chest. So 11 chests at the end that are all still skilled. Oh, actually, I automatically went for that. I shouldn't. Here, these, and I will show all of them. The annoying thing about those, though, is that they, when you're targeted loots, when you're, like now, we do not have access to targeted loot system at all. We are below it's at level 30, World Tier 5, and level 40 that you have to targeted loot. But here, those crates, after the mission basically is completed, they will have target loot of the zone and not the mission. But I will show those at the very end. Here what we could do is actually rush these crates and open them real quick. What that will do is make whatever wave we do it on be the very last wave. So there I'm not going to risk it because it's not worth dying for. It's one. So for this, I'm going to guess it's one wave on solo. In 4-man, it is 2 waves. So there it's a little bit more worthwhile, but it's also 5 crates. So once you actually open all of these 5 or all of these, so if I had done it before this wave had spawned, this wave would not spawn. We would get the prompt to move on to the next objective.
Hostiles incoming.
But yeah, here we're just gonna finish this off. I'm actually gonna recycle my skills. Because yeah, that was the last wave, likely. It would have spawned another one if it was going to. So if you see people going for them, especially in 4-man heroic, in 4-man heroic, you're very unlikely to get it. It's not even really worth going for. You're better off just killing those 2 extra waves. Gonna push up. I am actually curious if we get the back spawn from the elevator as a solo. As a 2-man, you do get it. And as a 4-man, you also get it. So here we're just assaulting across to that... to there. You saw me place my turret there. I move up a little bit further here because actually... everybody sets up for that elevator, but what you actually have is this wave underneath spawns first. And okay, yeah, no. On heroic and such, we would have another wave from the elevator that does not spawn on solo. 2-man it does spawn, that I know, and 4-man also spawns. What you see me there doing here is tossing my turret towards the next position that I'm going to have enemies spawn from, which is that corridor down there. I'm going to crawl up here and get this weapon crate. Jump down. And yeah, that's going to trigger around now-ish.
Hostiles nearby.
And my turret is basically close enough to them that is guaranteed to aggro. Usually if you put a turret very close to enemies, it will auto-aggro even without you prompting it. When it's very far away from enemies, sometimes it doesn't. It really requires you to actually target something before it starts firing. I do want to pick it back up, so I am going to do it like that and deconstruct my drone. I am going to just quickly check. That was better than my current one, I think. For level, if nothing else. The last one also didn't really have any stats. I'm going to grab the group of piece. I'm going to pop this this just to see what I get. I did get T82 that I saw. I'm not going to take the time to equip that. I'm fine with that. That MP, that machine pistole. Here we have this mechanical boss. It has 4 weak points around its sides. One thing you can do actually is... So what I usually do is put my turret and drone on ads, duty, and I'll go after the thing itself. So a lot of people go on the left side here. It's basically completely unnecessary to go to the left, and I will show you why. So I killed that left side weak point from the front. I'll kill the center from the front. At this point, I'm going to move up, and I'm going to take my turret with me. As you can see, the drone just being aggroed into it or just being close vicinity to it, the APC has chosen to be aggro to it, and that's also the case on heroic. Here I'm basically going to use this. I know it's grenading me, but I'll get out of its way. And the last part you can shoot from here. And here you also you can parallax yourself again, just as with the turret. So you're completely safe from the APC shooting you. Its grenades will also miss because it will hit the side of this building. And the only thing you have to be aware of is enemies shooting you from you're standing here. If they're there, they can shoot you. But yeah, you can just use that to deal with it. And in most places, you can also just parallax it as well. I will actually go over here and get this crate, which is also one that some people do know. I see it, some people going for it, and sometimes popped, but not often. Yeah, we have already the wave that comes through the bus once they slide the bus out of the way. Going to push up here, kill all these, and just make our way through.
Dragov is holed up in the exchange.
One thing that you can do here, especially as an Eclipse, is actually if you set up where I am now, in the background there, it's really hard to see, especially in the darkness, but there's that white door over there, exactly where I'm aiming. You could put a gas canister there, but what I'm actually going to do is open this door, move in, and put 2 grenade rounds there. It didn't kill as much as I was hoping for it to kill, mostly because also barely anything spawned there, because yeah, it is solo scaling again. I'm so used to 4-man scaling. And also maybe for a future run, it might be nice to... I'm curious how many heavies we get here, or if we get heavies at all. I would think so, because this is really there's a fixed spawn of a heavy, basically. And we get 1. Okay. And in 4-man you get 2, which is one of the first places you really get a challenge, basically. Because, yeah, they can actually catch you out. Here again, I'm just going to wait out here because the trigger point is me crossing this barrier that they blew up. Once I go through it, the next wave spawns. And this is also a nice way for doing that too. Next wave as well. And then they spawn across. Although normally there's actually, yeah, as always, more people there. I'm going to wait till all 3 of them line up nicely. What I'm going to do here is, so for heroics, normally I will actually put it in my main. I already have... in all my, what I could do is as a trick as well. So you can toss your hive up here already to have it prepared for the next wave that spawns right above it. What I usually do if I'm on a turret drone hybrid, I will put my turret there on that rope basically, which puts it in position already to fire right from the start. But what I'm going to do actually here is, because we are on story mode and it's easy, I'm going to go full crazy and just rush up here, and I'm gonna put my turret right up here, and I expect fully that I'm going to survive just because, yeah, they don't deal much damage. They might actually spawn behind me from that door or from above me, but I'll just deal with them as they come. I'm going to push up to... I'm going to shoot that yellow junction box that opens a gate later on. But yeah, here I know they spawn from down here and behind me. I'm going to kill these as they walk out. Even though that one model was obscuring the other. And you can go for this position as well on heroic, but usually you need something that can take a few hits, like a tech tank or a Hunter's Fury with a few blues with a shield. So yeah, we killed that junction box, and that junction box, as you can see, there's this yellow rope just all the way leading around. So you could, that is how you would normally figure it out. But yeah, it leads up to this door. So it's going all the way and it leads up to there. And here we have two crates. And yeah, so yeah, this mission already is pretty packed with crates, and in a minute you'll see that's even more than that. Here, I would never recommend hanging out at that starting area or that part, because you will get shot by snipers and such that spawn there. What you want to do is come to where I am now and shoot across from here. You still have cover. You can go into this cover. You can move across if you need to. We're going to have those enemies up there in that basket. I'm just going to do that to them. And that should kill them both. We have to shoot down this cleaning scaffolding, or whatever you would call it. One thing you will see actually below is, so this is one of those signpost things that they, especially in Warlords, they started employing a lot. So you can see there are some crates down there and down there, and you can even in there see there is a key chest there. And that is actually the area that we're going to hit at the end, at the very, very end of this mission.
Unknown network detected.
There's another weapon crate here. And there's even one more gear crate before we head into the boss fight that we can get before we actually finish the boss fight. When we jump down here, what I always do is come over here and already shoot that junction box. So I'm standing here and just shooting that junction box out. We need that later when we go for those crates there. But yeah, here you see that crate. So this is again signposting of going like, hey, there might be some secrets. If you try to interact with this now, you will get shocked. You don't take any damage, but yeah, you do get shocked. It's even not even interacting with it, but just touching it. And I will show after the boss fight how we get in there, but we still have this gear crate as well to grab. And we're going to go into the drag of boss fight. First, we will have to deal with a few waves that spawn. I will grenade that wave as it spawns and just push in and just kill everything. I'm going to already put my turret on top of this barrel. That's my favorite position for it. Somewhat like with the Parnell fight, it's nice and in the middle. It will likely shoot the bosses wherever they are, especially the bosses. So these ads, it might not have line of sight to all of them, but it's one of the better places. So there's a portable device here, actually. I'm actually showing a minute, there's something weird with it that actually a lot of people, I've seen other people talk about it and not understand what was happening with it. So I want to show it in a second. We're going to have Dragov in a second. I don't actually know if we get ads as well when we're solo. So we do get the 2 extra bosses. Those are always there. I'm just going to fire into them. I'm not really concerned about what I'm hitting there. I was just more, I wanted to get in sync going. And one thing that I will do is just once I get armor broken, I'll use an armor kit. We do not get ads. Okay, that's nice. So yeah, from 2-man up, you do get ads here, and ads will spawn, and you will have to deal with them. And then especially in heroic and such, you will also have to deal with them. I'm going to move across to this side. Actually, I'm going to move across to here and try to shoot this guy in the back. And finish off this guy. His helmet was off already. But yeah, dealing with those ads is actually a very important thing on heroic. Because if you don't deal with them well, you get a little bit overwhelmed. So normally, especially like if I'm Eclipse here, I go after the ads. I'm just going to wait for him to fire that skill, just so he doesn't sticky me. But yeah, it was a nice and easy fight. Dragov will always drop a point man, which is this one. And yeah, if you really wanted a level 40 point man, I am going to equip that Providence chest. That one is very nice, actually. That's a good find. And he also gives us the fire sticky, right? I'm trying to... Oh no, he gives us the explosive sticky, and Vivian Conley gave us the fire sticky. So we have both stickies now. We have a shock trap, and we have a decoy, which are the 4 skills that you get from Warlords of New York.
Great work, Agent. Dragov is down.
What we have here now is there is this box up here. So when I'm standing over here, you can see it in the wire works and such up there. So I'm going to shoot that open, or shoot that to break it. There's one there, which is when you by the entrance when you come in. You can shoot that one as well. That has that cage that was electrified is now no longer electrified. So we can go in and grab the key. And in here is already one crate. Yeah, so these are all post-mission. And you could actually technically open those and run back for these while the boss fight is going, basically. Or before the boss fight triggers. And get them while they are still mission target loot. But yeah, normally you do it afterwards. And then they are not mission target loot, they are zone target loot. But they are all still skilled. So they are still, when you're doing this on heroic, these are heroic chests. So yeah, you saw me earlier shoot that junction box. That one is required as well so in here. So that yellow key that we grabbed, that opens this door. Then we are locked out still by this fencing. That requires that one and this one. So once you shoot out both, you gain access to here. And yeah, here there are 4 skilled crates. So yeah, that is kind of worthwhile. If you're still getting loot, you should go and get these. There's no reason not to. Hell, if you're even... I mean, resources and optimization resources are also still valuable. especially if yours, still going through builds and such. So no reason not to get them. That one, a lot of people know and should know, and it's a common secret to know, basically. But this following ones are not. So one thing you will see me do here is actually, so from here, you could actually interact and get a phone. How do I best show this actually? Yeah, so actually let me show it. So here I'm interacting. I've grabbed the phone. So I've grabbed the new collectible. You see it in the bottom left. And a lot of people don't see where that phone is, or they think we're interacting with like payphones. And they cite that as one of the places of like, oh, we're interacting with the old phones, which shouldn't have recordings. But what we were actually interacting with is that phone there. So that is directly underneath it. And it is a little bit bugged that you can get it from up there. But that is actually the what the recording is on. So you could come down here and then you would clearly see, actually, I maybe should have showed it that way. But yeah, you can see that it is the interact is actually on it, even though almost everybody grabs it upstairs by the payphones. There you saw me grab another chest, also still scaled. All of these chests are still within mission boundaries and scaled. So yeah, there's one up there. There's some resources down here. Then you see this closed gate and some crates in there. And this is, again, one of those yellow lines. You just follow it. And this one goes into this. And if you walk up to it, you can see that you get an interact prompt. And once you interact, there is this yellow junction box inside of it. You shoot it out and you get in access to these two. And we're going to just loot them all because why not? Not that I need this much credits, actually, but I just want to show these. Normally, I wouldn't grab these. But this point of this run, if I was getting boosted or if I had done a lot of call for backups for most of it, then I would already be level 40. This is usually the point where you're level 40. When you're getting carried by somebody else that you have been group scaled for the entirety of your run, then you're guaranteed level 40 by this point. And I do not have a Riker ski. But yeah, you see how many crates there are still here. And that makes Wall Street actually a really good mission for people that are still after gear. And if this zone, especially this zone and this mission, have both loot that you're after, then yeah, there's no reason to not to do them. I will quickly check in the upper right that I'm almost level 39. So we are actually making good progress. This side mission will give us a little bit more than half of a level. So we will go into 39 and a half. A little bit less actually than half. So we would still likely need to do the two side missions that have been provided to us by Kelso. These two are not required. They aren't mandatory for Liberty Island. And Liberty Island is what is required to gain your watch. But yeah, I will likely do them just for the XP. And when we do all that, well, once we actually do this side mission, we will gain access to Liberty Island. But then we still need to reach level 40 to actually get to Liberty Island and be able to do it. And yeah, we shall continue there for the next one. I'm going to park this character in Haven, and next time that we return, I'll start with some minor inventory, and then we'll head down that path and finish up this run. So now we are already at 3 hours 40 minutes-ish. So we have likely another hour of run to go, putting this run at 4 hours 40 minutes, but is what I remember from my old solo days. And of course, I've stopped and talked here and there. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you liked it more than anything, I would love a comment about what you did or didn't like, or what you would like to see changed. And I hope to see you in the next one. Have a good night.